And we're live. Morning, Justin. Quick little video. PS2 hooked to a OSSC upscaler, and it's got the network adapter in the back. Look at that rat's nest of cables and wires. The adapter's in the back. The hard drive goes in there. You don't require memory cards. The memory cards that are in here are just for my save games from games that I've been playing. The gray item underneath is a 8-bit do retro receiver, so you can use PlayStation 5 controllers or 4 controllers instead of using the wired PS2 OEM variety. Anyway, it's not on. I'm going to turn it on and I'll let you watch the booting process. I may have to pick the proper video input for it to show up on my TV. So just bear with me here. You can kind of hear it humming. And it looks like it's auto-selecting. All right. So there's the boot. Stock. It'll read the hard drive and it should start free boot, which you'll see a screen come up here. And there's that. And then it'll access the hard drive for the game list and run OPL, Open PlayStation 2 Loader. It takes a few moments to read the drive, and there's the booting screen. And there is the game screen. In the options, I have it set for 4:3. But you can change that. You can make it output 1080i. And widescreen, depending on the display that you're using. So that's all running off the PlayStation 2 with component cables going into the OSSC, and then it goes into the stereo, well, the AV receiver, whatever you want to call it, and then it goes to the TV. Quickly, I'll boot a game up. I have to get this set up here. There and there to make it go into pairing mode. And now that's in pairing mode. And then you hit this button and it'll sync. It'll go solid blue. Well, maybe it will if you do it right. It's this button and this button. Now it'll pair. Now they're paired. And now you can leaf through the games like this. And it's pretty quick to bring up the game art. So these are PS2 games, and you can leaf forward with the shoulder buttons. I'm going backwards here, mind you, but now we're in here. I'll pick a random game if you want, just to see what it's like. But there's like, I don't know, 550 games here, 100 PlayStation 1 games. I took the top like 50 Metacritic games on PlayStation 1. They're all there as well, just for the heck of it. Oh yeah, here you push right on the D-pad, and that brings you to the PlayStation 1 games. And same rules apply. Shoulder buttons go from page to page. And select the game, you just hit X. Multi-disc games, I haven't played through or used them yet, but I know you can use them. You can combine the games to make them one ISO. Certain games work with that method, and where it was applicable, I did do that to the PlayStation 1 games. Otherwise, you have to make a TXT file, a text file, and it gets installed in the virtual PS1 memory card folder on OPL. And then when you go from, you switch from within the game menu, which is, the games are run by PopStarter, which is a PlayStation 1 emulator that runs on PlayStation 2. Okay, let's just boot one up for giggles. I don't know. Final Fantasy 7, I guess? I don't know. And this is PopStarter, so this is running the emulator. That brings back some memories, eh? Load time for the PlayStation 1 games is a little longer, believe it or not, than the PlayStation 2 games, because it has to run the emulator, then the emulator opens the game. So it does take a little bit, but it's about as fast as it'll go through hard drive channels, because you remember, this is very slow. This was running with IDE drives, so the data throughput's a little bit slower than today's drives, which use SATA 1, 2, and 3. But regardless, it works great, and the drives that are in here are 7,200 RPM drives. They're as fast as you're going to get. I just fast forwarded through the cutscene. So it'll be the intro cutscene, which is pretty cool. And then yes, you can hop out of here. Though there are cheats as well, so I'm gonna get out and I'll go back to the main menu. Or I'll try to. There is a button combination to get out. It is the shoulder buttons and then start and select, which, give me one moment, I'll do that quick. And then you get this menu. Hey, you want to get out and go to the main menu? Sure, I do. And then you want to hit O to accept. And so it'll reboot. It saves you from having to get up, which is nice. I know with like some older consoles, when you mod them, you have to have a in-game reset hardware installed, but not with this. This is all done through software or through the hard drive. And it boots by itself. It doesn't require a memory card. Like I said, the memory card in there is just for save game files. It has no booting information on there. You can save configuration settings and the initialization files on the memory card. It's not a big deal. But anyway, we're back to here again. So the start button gets us to the menu, and as you can see, these are all the options. You have settings, display settings, audio controller, on-screen display, parental lock, etc., network information, and then we can get out of that. But the menu for options, and this is what you were getting at, there are cheat settings and per game settings, so you can have it output different resolutions. It doesn't change the in-game resolution. What it does is it tells the PS2 to upscale the output to a certain resolution. You can go 480p, 720p, 1080i is the maximum. So those things can be done. Useful if you have a TV that supports numerous input resolutions. But something that you want to check for compatibility before you do, because it can cause problems. You always want to not change anything in the menus unless you've researched it. So, yeah, you can. There's the cheat information and everything, and this can be done on a per game basis. The cheats are already in the OPL or the Open PlayStation Loader. So they're there. I don't use them, but they are there, and if it's something that you want to mess with, feel free. But that's it. That's the game. I'll just boot up a random game for you here, quick like. I do have, if you have a CRT and a GunCon, there are GunCon games on here too, which is awesome. They won't work on this. This is a 77-inch OLED, and of course, that's not going to work. Let's do this quick like. This is a classic I remember from back in the day. And there's the booting. We'll let it boot. I'll show you this before I sign off, and I'll send it to you. This, I believe I have a save file on here already. But you get the little run DMC action here. Like I said, it's all running from here. What movie was this in? American Pie, wasn't it? Where the nerdy guy ends up going to the sorority house and they have a big party. I don't know if you remember. I'm just hitting X and getting to the main menu here. Yeah, load times are greatly reduced. So yeah, I highly recommend if you can get that 8BitDo wireless receiver. I think it's like $25. Amazon has them. Or if you want to be daring and go to AliExpress and try to import from China, they're even cheaper. But the wireless experience is a lot nicer. Controlling with one hand. Anyway, works great. And like I said, roughly 650 games on there between PS2 and PS1. Requires no memory card to boot up. But if you want to save, I recommend it. You can create a virtual memory card on there, but it has stability issues, so I wouldn't recommend it. I would use an OEM memory card if you can get your paws on one. But other than that, fire away with questions. I'll be sure to help you. I ship same day. And if you want to buy through Facebook, feel free. You can also just pay directly on my PayPal. Use goods and services. That way we're both protected. And there's a satisfaction guarantee on that. There's no risk. I've been selling on eBay for, 22 years now. And there's also several reviews on the Facebook from me selling these drives. It took me a long time to make them, and I've been selling them, and people have been very satisfied. Anyway, thanks for your interest. Take care. Hit me up with any questions. Bye.